Son of a... How's it going, everybody? This is Andy with Aspen Valley Vapes, and if you've used the Cubis Mini, or the Eleaf Lyche, chances are you've experienced some spitback problem, and that hot e-liquid is never fun to get in your mouth, or just getting the e-liquid in your mouth in general. So today I'm going to go over 3 tips and tricks to help you alleviate that spitback problem on all 3 of these tanks, since they all do use that same coil head design, where you screw the coil head into the top and it's got that cup fill in the actual tank. So from my experience, the number one thing that does cause this, it was when the coil soaks up too much e-liquid and you get a puddle of e-liquid sitting at the top, because then you have that e-liquid sitting right there in the chamber, and when you fire, it's just going to shoot straight up the mouthpiece directly into your mouth. Now, some of the things that are going to cause that problem to get that e-liquid in there can be overfilling your tank and not having your coil screwed on correctly. So make sure to not overfill your tank, whether you're using the Cuboid Mini, the Cubis itself, or this Eleaf Lyche. You want to only fill it to their fill lines, because you're overfilling it, you're going to give it that chance to oversaturate the coil, and then right off the bat you'll be stuck with some spitback problems. On to the 3 solutions now. I'm using the Eleaf Lyche tank right now, and if you've been letting your tank sit for a while and you haven't been vaping on it, there could be some buildup in there, especially if you have a lot of e-liquid in your tank. So one tip is to tip your mod upside down like so, and then give it a little shake, so that e-liquid that's been sitting on top of the coil will just now fall out and come through the drip tip. Now you'll want to wipe that up before you vape, because then you'd be getting e-juice in your mouth anyway. Another option that goes with that same tip right there is firing the mod before you actually take a vape. So if you just fire it, you can definitely hear all of that popping right now. Firing your mod right there is going to heat up that e-liquid and help get rid of that e-liquid buildup that has been sitting there for too long. Now the second tip to help alleviate the spitback on the Cubis Mini, and Eleaf Lyche. When you are screwing the coil head into the top base here, you might not notice it, but you could be screwing it in a tad bit sideways and the threads are not lining up 100%. So if you have a tiny little gap there, that e-liquid is going to slowly seep into the coil, and you're going to be getting constant spitback the entire time. So when you do put a new coil head in, you do want to screw it in and make sure those threads are 100% flush, so there is no room for e-liquid to get up over the top and into that coil base. On the topic of replacing the coil head, make sure to not oversaturate the coil head when you are priming it before use. Only put like 2 or 3 drops on the actual coil itself where you see the cotton exposed, and then let it sit for about 10 to 15 minutes to let it saturate the cotton. Because if you drip too much e-liquid on there, it's going to oversaturate from the start, and you're going to have a lot of spitback problems. For the third and final tip, if those 2 tips did not work, this one might be for you. This is my last resort, and I have to do it sometimes, but we're going to dive up, take a close look at the Eleaf Lyche and coil head, and I'm going to show you what I do to completely alleviate the spitback problem on these 3 tanks. Alrighty, so this is going to be my final tip here. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to unscrew your coil head from the Cubis or Cubis Mini, or in this case the Eleaf Lyche. As you can see, this coil head looks very similar to the Joyetech Cubis and Cubis Mini coils, but this is Eleaf's version. But what you're going to do is you're going to want to unscrew your coil head, and you're going to want to take a Q-tip or something similar, and you can see that there's a bunch of e-liquid just built up around the top there. That's because the coil got oversaturated. So if you do see a bunch of buildup like this, you're going to take a Q-tip, and you're just going to want to go in there, rub it around, and get some of that extra e-liquid off of that coil head. You can see there I did get a good amount just from a quick swab. Go back in there with the other side of the Q-tip, maybe dab it a couple times. And there you can see now that coil head is much better. There's not a pile of e-liquid sitting on top of that mesh chamber. And that right there is going to be my third and final tip for alleviating the spitback on the Cubis Mini, and Eleaf Lyche tanks. Let's bring it back up top. So that is about going to wrap up this video. If you have any other tips or tricks to help alleviate the spitback problem on these 3 tanks, please leave a comment down below so I can help spread the word, and I will help inform other vapors about this spitback problem, because we do get asked this question a bunch. So that is why I'm making this video, to help you guys out and show you a few personal tips and tricks that I have found to best alleviate that spitback problem. If this video did help you alleviate the spitback problem on one of those 3 tanks, please leave a thumbs up and subscribe. It is greatly appreciated. I cover a lot of reviews, tutorials, advocacy stuff, so a thumbs up and subscribing would be greatly appreciated. I also want to mention that we have a Sigelli 213 giveaway going on right now on AspenValleyVapes.com. There will be a link on the screen and in the description down there. If that giveaway has already ended, that link is still going to take to whatever giveaway we do have going on AspenValleyVapes.com. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and vape on.